Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. Today's topic is going to be, what do you have to lose? So we'll get to that in a minute. Just got back from a birthday party, family birthday party. It was fun. So shooting indoors, didn't get a chance to shoot outside, and now we got some rain, and it's 8:30 at night, so an indoor video it is. I'll try to get outside tomorrow if it's not raining. So before I get to the topic, just gonna breathe a couple of breaths, relax. Ate a bunch of junk food, so if I'm a little stuffy, that's why. Birthday parties, lots of junk food. All right. So, what do you have to lose? And what I'm talking about here is, what do you have to lose by committing fully to TMS, perceived danger pain, as the only cause of what is going on? Now I know it's very easy when we are in a fearful state to have doubts, and a little fearful negative Nelly in our brain can rattle on all day long about, well, what if it's this? What if it's that? Well, if it's not, right? And those fearful thoughts are not really keeping us safer. As a matter of fact, they're just creating more fear and therefore more perceived danger, which is likely to keep the symptoms persisting. Not likely, but most likely, right? And if you haven't heard my talk on perceived danger pain, there's a video linked on my Getting Started page. So go to painfreeyou.com/start, or look under the Get Help menu. If you go directly to the site, there's a Getting Started page. And there's a video about perceived danger pain. And I kind of walk you through how pain starts, how it gets, how it becomes persistent, the purpose of pain, what turns it on, what turns it off. And bottom line is, perceived danger pain sometimes is based on a real danger. Sometimes it's just the brain operating on misinformation and fear. And so, if you understand that concept, that TMS, perceived danger pain, means that your body's already okay, there's no downside whatsoever to feeding your brain better, accurate information about what's going on, what caused the pain, what's keeping it going, and then work within that framework of how this system called the human body works to dial down the fear and therefore the perceived danger, so that the brain makes a different decision and can turn down or turn off your pain or other symptoms. So what do you have to lose, right? A lot of people will say, but what if it's not TMS? What if my body's really the problem? Okay, so have you evaluated your medical options for what medical science says is going on? And if so, are you willing to pursue that? Most of the people I talk to have already exhausted every medical treatment or supposed cure, and they're still scratching their head going, none of that worked. So if you're not going to pursue any further medical interventions, what do you have to lose for committing fully to this? Now let's answer the question, well, how do I really know, Dan? How do I know for sure if it's TMS or something else? Well, Dr. Schubner, one of the leading TMS medical doctors in the world, has a simple approach. And it makes 1,000% sense to me. You rule out anything life-threatening, right? We don't want to be dealing with tumors, cancers, infectious disease, anything like that. You rule out things like fractures. If you had a fall, make sure you didn't break your arm, right? Obvious things. But if the doctors can't find anything that they're so concerned with that they're going to say, you need to go to the hospital now, and they're saying, well, it might be this, it might be that, good. You ruled out anything serious. And the next step that Dr. Schubner says is critical is to rule in this mind-body stuff, this perceived danger pain, this TMS, as Dr. Sarno called it. So you rule out the life-threatening, then you rule in TMS. Well, how do you do it? TMS behaves differently than a structural problem. And so there are 2 assessments, and I recommend you do both. Don't get lazy with this. If you're on the fence and you're not sure if it's a mind-body thing going on in your brain creating the symptoms, take the time. Might take you 20 minutes to go through the pain test and what Dr. Schubner created called the FIT assessment. F for functional, I for intermittent, T for triggered, and there's a number of questions. You don't need to check off all the boxes in order to have the assessment tell you it's TMS. As a matter of fact, if you check off one of them, it means your pain is behaving as if the brain is creating it and not the body. So for anybody who's saying, well, how do I really know for sure? It behaves like TMS, but I have this medical diagnosis. Okay, well, if the pain is behaving like TMS, look, I'm not going to debate a medical diagnosis. If they see something on your imaging study or in your blood work, that's what it is. However, if the pain is behaving like TMS, then what do you have to lose other than the pain by committing wholeheartedly to this approach? There's no downside. The only thing that could happen is you get rid of your pain. And yeah, you might still have a medical diagnosis that you've just proven is fairly meaningless. And if there's any autoimmune markers that are in question through imaging studies and blood work, you still have nothing to lose other than the pain, which, if it's behaving like TMS or this perceived danger pain, and the autoimmune system can actually function better, which means you might be able to slow down or eliminate this autoimmune condition because you're no longer stressing out about your symptoms because you've pretty much committed to this process wholeheartedly. And so if you can basically allow your immune system to return to balance and normal operation, this autoimmune condition may not reverse 100%, but you may stop it and eliminate it so that there's no further damage from that autoimmune condition. So again, nothing left or nothing to lose other than the symptoms and a regulation of your autoimmune condition or immune system or digestive system. There's so much doubt and fear and uncertainty out there. And all I'm suggesting is if you've ruled out the life-threatening stuff, there is zero downside, only benefit to diving in and teaching your brain the accurate information as to how this system works and what's actually going on so that your brain can make a different decision, turn off the pain, and allow the immune system to return to balance because you're not spending nearly as much time in the fight or flight response. And that'll also allow your digestive system to return to balance. So I know you probably have a number of medical diagnoses, but what Sarno says is those are normal abnormalities. A lot of people have them, and no pain. And in the autoimmune thing, it's purely that stress suppresses immune system and digestive systems. And therefore, stressing out about those conditions is like pouring gasoline on a fire and wondering how come this fire won't go out? Because you're stressing out about the symptoms that are created by stress, essentially. So, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? If you are no longer proceeding with medical interventions and you've ruled out life-threatening things and you've ruled in mind-body with the 2 assessments I just talked about earlier, trust the assessments. It's not Dan telling you this. It's Dr. Schubner, the leading medical TMS doctor in the world. And so He knows what he's talking about. This is medical science. This is not woo-woo, weird stuff. This is how the brain, pain, and the human body functions. Perceived danger is what's driving all of this. Any type of symptom is based on your brain's interpretation of what's going on and perceiving danger. So all symptoms are really a perceived danger response, whether it be pain or something else. So use the process that I've just mapped out. Rule out the serious, the life-threatening stuff. Like 99.9% of us don't have anything like that going on, right? And don't just get scared by this 0.1% that maybe, because I almost never come across somebody who has a true life-threatening situation. I'm not saying it's not you, but go get checked out by the doctors. I had somebody recently saying, oh, chest pain. Yeah, go get the doctor to check it out. Do a chest x-ray, do the EKGs, do the blood work, make sure everything's all right. And then, if the heart is checking out okay, then proceed to rule in the symptoms that they're behaving as TMS or this perceived danger pain. Then once you know that, set aside the doubt, commit wholeheartedly. There's nothing to lose other than the pain and or the symptoms. Really trying to drive this point home here. I see so many people just stuck in indecision and fear. And they're just terrified that, what if I make the wrong decision? Well, if you're not going to pursue medical intervention and you've ruled out anything life-threatening, what do you have to lose other than the symptoms and or the pain? So, I love you guys and gals. Just really wanted to drive this home. Hope everybody had a fantastic 3-day weekend in the United States, and hope everybody had a good day no matter what. So, I'm going to wrap this up, upload the video for tomorrow morning, and love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.